Hi, everybody. Thanks for jumping on Wealth Protector TV. Really excited to have Doug Roberts with me today, who is the president and founder of Rocket Leaders, which is a C-suite consulting firm to executives and entrepreneurs across the country. Also, Doug is a Vistage chair leading a group of owners, and Vistage being the world's largest peer-to-peer advisory group. Doug, welcome. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Thank you. Good to be here, Paul.
Yeah, well, I just want to jump right into this because you have your thumb on the pulse of what's going on with a lot of leadership, yourself included, with the
Hmm.
current financial crisis.
Right,
Everybody's impacted. Yeah, it's a big deal. And so I
right.
wanted to get input from somebody who's on the front lines. What are you seeing? And then what are the action plans that you think owners and entrepreneurs should be putting in place to get out of this and come out on the other side?
I'm working with 25 plus CEOs and business owners of small to medium businesses, whether it be individual coaching or as a part of my Vistage group of 18 plus CEOs um, who get together on a monthly basis. In this case, we're getting together on a every other day basis,
Right.
as we use the remote uh, vehicles that we have, in front of us.
And
Uh,
Doug, are these CEOs in different industry groups?
thank you. These are CEOs in all different types of industries. And so I have a lot of exposure to what's going on in the market right now. I would say I would put my CEOs into three buckets, Paul. One, those companies who are trying to survive. Um, those companies are primarily in industries like restaurants, hospitality, those that are relying on consumers to be at their locations or traveling, etc.
Yeah, they're the center of the bomb that
Yeah.
dropped.
The other, the second category would be those that are doing okay. They're hanging in there and they're just planning for the next month. And then there is the third category, which are those that are actually growing like gangbusters during this phase. They're taking advantage of what they were already playing really well in, which is providing either they're already remote and all of their workers were remote, and or they're providing things that people want now, primarily marketing, online marketing. um, let's get our website more effective. Let's from our restaurant clients, let's get the ability to order online, that sort of thing. So my clients who provide those kind of services are killing it right
Hmm.
now. And those that are not, those that are in the first category of, wow, we just need to hang on to survive. What we're working on is, first of all, getting their PPP money. That is first and foremost what we have been working for the last 4 weeks, is just to make sure that they qualify for and have those funds. And that has not been easy for any
No,
small business in this country.
right.
um, and that's a whole nother can of worms, a whole nother story, but a really good program. And it's helping out a lot of people, those people that have been successful in getting it.
Right.
In addition, we so early on when this thing originally hit, I got together with my team and we just said, we have got to cut costs, right? Cash is king. We've got to make sure that we have ample cash to weather a good 4 to 6 months. And so uh, that was our primary focus, which this is before the preferred provider program details came out. Is okay. Let's do all we can um, to preserve cash and live to fight another day.
Was that cutting things that maybe weren't
Yeah,
mandatory to have more cash, stuff like that?
absolutely. That's cutting things. That's furloughing. Maybe that's executives taking a 20% haircut in their, in their compensation. Maybe even maybe furloughing to 4 days a week, much of their team. We tried desperately not to do any layoffs. It was more, let's just do cost cutting, whether it be, okay, for the next few months, we're not going to fund your 401ks. We want to leave,
Right.
of course, we want to leave your healthcare intact, looking at every cost, operationally, what can we do without? Um, and just counseling each other on how to negotiate with our landlords. That's a great industry, and there's no question that, and I have clients in that industry who are providing commercial real estate. Nonetheless, how do we negotiate with some of those guys during this time to make
Yeah.
sure that we have cash? And in many cases, it's really just an extension on the back end of your lease. So, hey, maybe I don't pay for 3 months, or maybe I pay at 50% for 3 months, and then we just take that additional money and tack it on at the end.
Got
And
it.
by and large, 90% of the time, that's been very successful, and landlords want to work with you, et cetera. Because that's another, we could do a different podcast on that one, which is,
Right. Yeah. That's a
yeah,
big one on
yeah,
negotiation.
exactly negotiation, but also where is that industry going? What is commercial real estate going to look like in the future? And so uh, that, so the cost cutting, the negotiation of fees, making sure that you are on top of your accounts receivable, um, and just having a plan for collecting and working with your clients in that regard, but at least have a very intentional plan, because that's cash. That's
Yeah.
cash again. So that's what we originally were working on. Then we turned our attention to taking advantage of the government loan programs out there. And that was preferred provider program primarily, EIDL as well. But at the end of the day, the preferred provider program was really the way to go.
That's the
That was
paychecks. That's the paychecks plan.
paycheck, yeah,
Yeah.
protection plan. And so interestingly, and you well know this, Paul, the landscape kept moving on us, right? What are the rules? What aren't the rules? It was really important to have folks like your firm to help us to understand all that. You guys were invaluable in that regard. And it's still going on, right? And, and, and the result has been that I would say 10% of my clients have returned their money, right?
Oh, is that right?
If, and we're talking about millions of dollars, they, a couple of them had applied and then decided, no, I really don't need it. Other people need it more than I do. A couple of them were, having seen some of the later news about, if you really cannot show that you have a need for this money, there might be some criminal charges brought against you.
Right.
So that got their attention. And because those that took it under that auspice, took it under the auspice of, hey, I don't need it now, but in 3 to 6 months, when the shoe really drops, I'm going to need it.
Right.
But having seen, some of the later, rulings that came out from the Small Business Administration, they were like, it's probably a little risky even to take it now.
Yeah. So you got that going on where they got through the loans. Now, is it executing on the plan? Are your owners
Yeah.
thinking, okay, I'm going to come out of this, and now here's my plan for when I go back to work. Is that where you're at now?
Well, where we're at right now, Paul, is okay. What is our team going to look like? So now I've gotten this money. So how do I spend it? Right. So,
Right.
um, when I come out of this, I may look different. So the jobs that I had going into it might well be different from the jobs that I need coming out of it and getting through it. So
Interesting.
how do I spend that, and continue to keep my payroll, at the levels I need to qualify for it being a grant, for PPP being a grant versus a loan. How do I continue to do that while at the same time hire maybe different kind of workers I need if I can't retrain the workers that I have.
And Doug, are you
Mhm.
getting one-on-one with your owner clients, kind of rolling up your sleeves and just working real closely with them on this?
Yeah, so it's a combination of my working one-on-one with them, Paul, and and the group getting together and just sharing ideas.
Yeah.
Uh, in addition to the help from you guys, Vistage, the Vistage network is phenomenal.
Yep.
So the Vistage website had all of these curated experts, talking about, whether it's from the Small Business Administration or you guys, et cetera, talking about, all of the considerations you need to have. Plus, we had sponsored at Vistage a network of information sharing. So there'd be like, 30 emails a day on this. Hey, has anybody applied? I can't seem to get a loan at XYZ Bank. Where else should I go? Just a number of different
Right.
questions like that. Where do I get PPE equipment? Where do I get, et cetera? So that's been invaluable. And so, working one-on-one with them, as well as providing them resources, as well as we all get together on a Zoom call, every couple of days and go, okay, how's it going?
God, it's phenomenal the way you describe that because,
Yeah.
we're in unprecedented times and these businesses are worried about staying afloat. It's great to have you as a resource, your group, of CEO peers, and just seems like all of you are just on it, getting in the gutter, solving issues,
Mhm.
and getting out of this thing.
And this is the time to be a part of a CEO group or any kind of advisory group. If you look at you need support.
Oh
We
yeah,
all need support during this time. I need
absolutely.
support during this time. And
Yeah,
if you look at the Great Recession of 2007 to 2009, during that period, Vistage companies had a compounded annual growth rate, Paul, of 5.8%, while the rest of the Dun& and Bradstreet companies declined 9.2%.
that's an
Uh,
incredible
so
stat.
it's an incredible stat, and it's about getting the right guidance from your peers, from really smart people who are, you know, who are who are going through the same things you are, but also the guidance that we get from the experts that we bring to the table at Vistage, like your booth, like your organization.
Yep.
And yeah, so it's super powerful. And now is the time to be a part of it. And my group's never been stronger than when this adversity hit us.
I love it, Doug. It's great information. I'd love to have you back and do a deeper dive into some of these other issues, like kind of leadership issues, and what
Yeah.
you see truly the best leaders doing right now. Like how are they behaving?
Right.
I'd be interested in diving into that. But this has
Okay.
been great and really appreciate it. I know you're very busy, so thank you, and thank you everybody who is watching this for taking a few minutes.
Thank you.